Hello there, Kanokarob here with a new in town dev diary. Today we're going to be looking at some of the upcoming features coming to new in town version 2.12, which will be called the Fortified update. This is going to add several new features to the town kingdom section of the data pack, which is of course the largest and most popular, namely the ability to upgrade some of your sites, an overhaul to the existing wall system and design, and some updates to the castle, mostly visual, but with some technical as well, which we'll be discussing in a later video. This video will be primarily focusing on the upgrade system. This has been a long requested feature and one that I have finally implemented in a way that I think I'm happy with and that fits with the spirit of new in town. So let's go ahead and get started. So these here are 3 of the 4 structures that you are able to upgrade. We have the mine, the lumber mill, and the farm plot. These, of course, are 3 classic new in town structures, often some of the first ones that a player will build in their town. So it makes sense that later on, as the player is able to fully develop their town, that these might need to upgrade to better fit in both productivity-wise and aesthetically. The 4th and final structure that you're able to upgrade is actually your town wagon, your settler's wagon. You'll be able to upgrade that into a town hall. But you'll notice here that there are no new planner blocks, no upgrade planner in these structures. The structures themselves have not been changed. To upgrade them, you actually need to go ahead and build a different structure, and that structure is the bank. So let's go ahead and grab a building permit here and take a look at the bank recipe. It's mostly going to consist of stone and andesite. Got some quartz in here to kind of elevate the value, make it a little bit of a mid to late game structure, which makes sense given the content of the functionality that it offers. And then just a little bit of sandstone and oak logs. We go ahead and build this up, and this is our bank structure. I think it looks really nice. It's obviously much more ornate than something like the mine. Very funny to see them next to each other. Hi, Enderman. But still fits in with the feeling of new in town. Let's go ahead and go inside. So here we have our banker. He lives inside the bank and is going to trade us our banking upgrade recipes. So this is what's going to actually allow us to upgrade the 4 sites and choose which one we want, and also, of course, invest into them. These other traits are for bank notes. Each of the bank upgrade recipes requires a bank note or multiple bank notes rather than a building permit. So these have to be obtained from the banker as well, only by trading for stone, oak logs, or gold ingots. These, of course, are 3 of the main resources that your town is going to be providing for you on a daily basis as you further build it out. And at a certain point, of course, it's expected the player's probably going to have quite a lot of these resources and need something to sink them into. So this is sort of what that's meant to be. It also, of course, allows the recipes to be a lot more interesting and have more than just stone and logs in the recipe, but also things like deep slate and bricks and things of that sort. So those recipes, where do they go? Well, they go in this here banking planner. It is inside the bank, and it's just going to try and upgrade the closest site that is available once you put in the recipe. Works just like a normal site planner, so you'll put in the whole recipe and then right click. It'll activate the site planner, the banking planner will remain, and the site that is ready to be upgraded will be changed. We have a sign here just to warn you that upgrades will replace the entire site. So that's important for something like upgrading the town or the settler's wagon into a town hall, because if you have chests here, which I've already removed just for safety, or if you have resources in these hoppers, those are going to get destroyed. And if you haven't built a resource silo, the entities, the daily drops will still occur here, but they won't be collected by anything. So you'll want to take that into account. Generally recommended, you'll want to make sure you have a resource silo so that all your resources are already being directed there. And you either have a homestead or some other home, some other place that you're storing all your materials in, rather than the town or settler's wagon or whichever other structure you're upgrading. So let's go ahead and start with the mine. I'm going to go ahead, hop in the bank, upgrade this, and then we'll take a look at what it upgrades into. All right, so this is where our mine previously was next to the bank, but has now been upgraded into a tap mine. So the tap mine has a lot going on. Obviously, it's much more aesthetically pleasing than the dinky old mine that you built right at the start of your town. And the miner that previously worked down inside the mine has now been promoted to the mine foreman. He's got the same trades as before, but he's just got a little bit of a nicer title, a little better salary. The other cool thing about the mine now, instead of just being a couple blocks deep, it now actually lets you descend on a ladder down into a more proper mine. There's nothing else really functionally practical down here other than another miner who has different trades. So he'll be able to trade you for some deep slate, as well as amethyst shards or sculk catalysts if you have been to the deep dark already. So why is this important? Why would you want to do this upgrade? Well, this is a miner, and the mine foreman is also still a miner. So both of these are producing 12 stone per day. The whole mine itself isn't producing 12 stone. Each of them are producing 12, so the whole thing produces 24, and that does stack with a resource silo. So previously, if you had one mine, is producing 12 stone per day. If you had a resource silo, you could double that up to 24, but now with one mine, you have two miners that are each producing 12, so that's producing 24, and then that gets doubled again to 48. So this mine is doing the work of 4 mines, all with just a single upgrade and the resource silo. So that is the benefit of building a tap mine on top of your original mine. And the same follows through for the lumber mill and similar for the farm plot. So we'll move on to the lumber mill and see what that looks like. The lumber mill gets upgraded into a sawmill. So this is designed closer to something you might find in like Skyrim, for example. A lot more open, a lot more spacious, and it's very clear that lumber is being worked here. It's being stripped down and fashioned into other things. We have our lumberer here. He remains the same, does not get a promotion, has all the same trades, including the new mangrove log trade to exchange into oak logs if you feel that's necessary for your town. And then over here, we've got the mill foreman, who's a new villager who has different trades. So these trades are for things like barrels and armor stands and ladders, things that are already made out of wood that you can buy at, of course, a bit of a discounted price because it's already been fashioned for you. You don't get a choice in what that wood becomes, unlike if you purchase just straight up lumber. Let's go ahead now and move on to the farm plot. As I mentioned earlier, when you upgrade a site in the bank planner, only a single site gets upgraded. So even though I have 2 farm plots here, only one of them is going to get upgraded. And I'll show you that here in just a moment. Here we go. So I only upgraded a single farm plot, and it got upgraded to an industrial farm. And that was the one that was closest to the bank. So that's how it'll select which one is going to get upgraded. It'll be the closest one to the bank and only a single one. If you wanted to upgrade the other farm plot, you can. It'll skip over this one, and then you'll be able to upgrade this to an industrial farm. But right now we only need one. Let's go ahead and take a look. Of course, it's much more industrial. That's the point. It's something more you would imagine for a commercial greenhouse because it's producing more goods. Inside the actual farmland, the crops being grown in blocks has been reduced a little bit. You're getting a little bit less carrots and potatoes and wheat, but you get the addition of glowberries here, and you have a new villager, as well as, of course, our old farm hand who has now been promoted to the farm operator. He's got the same trades as before. And then our nursery specialist has some different trades for apples, beetroots, and glowberries, since glowberries do grow in here. Now, the difference between the way the industrial farm works compared to the mine and the lumber mill, since these plots don't get the resources sent to the resource silo, they get sent to the resource chest here. That means I decided to do something a little bit different with how this gets doubled. So instead of producing double the amount of wheat and carrots and potatoes, this is instead the nursery specialist will just produce these crops instead. So you're still getting double the amount of resources each day. It's just different materials. It's just different resources. It'd be similar to like if the mine produced stone and deep slate instead of just stone. But of course, for something like that, that's a lot more impactful than just getting a wider variety of crops from the industrial farm like we do here. So that is the 3 primary, productive upgrades that are available to you. Lastly, we have, of course, the settler's wagon. So let's go ahead and upgrade that, and we'll take a look at what that turns into and why you might want to upgrade to a town hall. So here we go. We've upgraded our settler's wagon into the town hall. Just looks a whole lot nicer. We've got the brick, polished stone here. Oops. Polished stone here. Diorite and deep slate for trim and the roof. Beautiful clock tower up here. Obviously not super helpful when you're down here on the ground, but a nice addition, I think, nonetheless. And then, of course, this nice little front porch type area here, the deck. Let's go ahead and look inside and see what the town hall has to offer. So interior, of course, also looks like a nice town hall with our town representative here. But let's focus on the town planner for a moment. So, of course, he's moved now inside. And that's one of the main reasons that you're going to want to build a town hall, is to move the town planner inside. Of course, previously, there was a chance if he was outside that if lightning struck, he'd get turned into a witch. And that would, of course, not be very helpful. You wouldn't be able to buy building permits or new settlement site recipe books. Now, there is a respawn system for that, but just for everybody's safety, always better to have a roof over his head, and that's what this offers. Any progress you've made on him is going to change. There's going to stay. So if you just have unlocked the end portal recipes, if you already purchased your castle permits, all that's going to remain the same. This just moves him inside. Now we've got our town representative here that I mentioned a moment ago, and he's got two main functions. The first up is the wall recipes. So the wall recipes have been moved out of the settlement site recipes book and are now their own book. And the reasoning for that we'll get into in a later video when I go over the changes to walls. But now if you want to build walls, those recipes are now in this book. You'll have to buy from the town representative instead. The other thing that you'll see here, these 4 other trades, you can trade building permits and 64 of any of these raw materials to get dirt roads, wooden roads, paved roads, or cobbled roads. So these trades, similar to like lampposts in the power station, will allow you to change the roads in your town. So right now we've got dirt roads out there. We already have the dirt roads, so you can change it back if you like. Let's go ahead and get some packed mud. So I'm going to go ahead and get a building permit here, and we'll trade and get our paved roads. All right, so a building permit and 64 packed mud is going to give us some paved roads. The item is going to get taken away from us right away, and we're going to get a message in chat that our town roads have been repaved as far as they can. So this does have a range, but it's pretty wide just to make sure that you're not messing with anybody else's town. So we step outside and you'll see all of the roads in this town have been changed from dirt to this packed mud bricks. So that's just going to offer another way for you to add some additional character to your town, whether it's making it conform a little better to the biome that you're building in, or just to add that extra bit of flavor, of character to your town, make it more aesthetically pleasing for you, really make the town yours. That is the purpose of this ability to change the road types. I'm partial personally to the cobbled roads or the dirt roads, but I think these paved roads here with the packed mud bricks look really nice, and the wooden roads as well, I think, are just going to look really good, especially in like taiga biomes, for example. So the other cool thing, obviously, it's important that you're not just changing all the current roads in your town, but this applies to future roads as well. So if we grab, for example, 8 dirt and 8 seeds, we're going to be able to see that we can build another empty plot, and it will have all the new roads, including under the site planners. Those will get changed to the correct block type, even over under these new site planners. So every new plot that you add to your town is going to match the road type that you've selected. And this is going to extend out for about 300 blocks, which is probably more than is necessary, just to make sure that you can extend as far as you like and still have the correct road type without interfering on other people's potential towns. That about covers it for all of the upgrades. So we have the 4 new upgrades: the tap mine, the sawmill, the industrial farm, and the town hall. These do have some new advancements to go along with them. So we have a small loan here. So with the bank's help, you upgrade your settler's wagon to a town hall. That's an advancement, just mostly to let you know that that is an option. If for whatever reason you don't notice it in the recipes book when you see the bank, that if you're wondering how to upgrade your wagon, if it's even possible, this is the way to let you know that. And then, of course, we have service to the town to upgrade every possible structure. Right now, Of course, there's only 4, but plenty of room to add more and make that a more exciting and dramatic advancement. But it is a challenge advancement, so it does offer some extra experience for you there. There's only one other feature that I'm going to talk about in this video, but like I said, there will be plenty more in the next couple of videos, and that is something that has been very requested for quite a long time. Are you ready? You can now climb the guard tower. There's now a ladder in the guard tower, so you can climb all the way to the top after 2 years. This is a very requested feature that I finally decided it was worth adding. So now you can climb the top of your guard tower, take full advantage of it. Hope that was worth being the last feature of the video, but this is not the last feature of the update. Like I said, the Fortified update will be launching on November 4th. Along with the ability to upgrade your walls in a different way or build your walls in a different way, total overhaul of that system, as well as a new castle system. Additionally, on November 4th, the same day the Fortified update launches, New in Town Dimensions will be updating to 1.19. Finally, after so long, lots of time and tears working on it, it is compatible for 1.19, and that'll be launching on November 4th as well, alongside the Fortified update. So be sure to like and subscribe and catch all the videos that I'll be posting here, going over all the new features in both of those updates, both of those data packs, as we get ready for November 4th and those 2 launches. Thanks for watching, guys. I will talk to you guys later.